what's up, everybody? So, today I was going to actually, or tonight, it's actually nighttime, Wednesday, I was going to do a piece that kind of was bounced off something I did about the AB the other day. And actually I had that video taken down for a reason, and it was because I've got way more information. And it's kind of I'm getting legal advice, kind of a bigger deal, and it's about an attorney. So anyway, but I just wanted to kind of put something out there, and this is more of like, well, if I was in prison right now, like if I was back in, let's say, Terre Haute, I would be journaling about this. So this is more like an audio diary, I guess you would say. But I just kind of felt something that's going on with me. When I did my last recording the other day, I mentioned that I had been reading the NA book. And at the end of the video, at the end of the recording, I kind of said that I just didn't know, because the voice inside of my head kind of tells me, I think these positive thoughts, but am I going to really be able to carry through? And basically that's what I was saying. Well, as soon as I hung up the phone, OG Mike, who's helping me put this out there. Shout out to you, Mike, and I appreciate it. At the end of it, he's like, Rob, if you can really pull it together, you can help a lot of people. There's a lot of support, blah, blah, blah. And I don't mean blah, blah, blah in a bad way. I'm just saying what he said. The minute I hung up the phone, I just got in this pod. I said that. It wasn't in here very long. I turn around, and there's this guy that looks at me, and he yells, Convict Inc. And I look at him, and he's like, Rob, and he comes up, and he's like, well, I can't believe you're here. And gave me a hug, and I don't know this guy, There's people that know about this in here for sure, actually quite a few. But this guy, his name is Nathan. He has been following me since I put Convict Inc., with the help of family, I guess, put Convict Inc., the website up back in 2008, 9, whatever it was. Everything I've ever written, every video I've ever put out, he has followed it up until probably, I think, when I went to rehab in September. And one of the things he said, and I didn't know who he was at first, back when I was writing in prison, 2012, I guess it was, I was putting stuff out from Butner, and I was writing about criminal justice reform. I was writing about sobriety before I relapsed. And a lot of people were reaching out to me asking for help, advice, and stuff. And I was, right before I relapsed, I was bulletproof. Even after I relapsed, I was trying to pretend that relapse wasn't going to be consistent, and I was putting out advice as if I was sober. This was one of the guys that reached out to me and asked for help, and I had no clue. Then, when I got out of prison, this guy reached out to me as well. There were some days I'd get 5 people sending me emails asking me to call them and stuff, and I used to talk to a lot of different people. A lot of them had suicidal thoughts, struggling with drug addiction, and even though I was not clean and sober when I got out of prison, I was able to talk to them, and it made me feel good, to hang up the phone and then would drink or whatever. Well, this is one of the guys, and this guy's telling me how much I helped him. And he was like how sad he was when he found out that I was fucking up out here. And of course, he's in here now. He was clean for a while. He attributes a lot of it to me, whether that's true, false, whatever. Stayed clean for a while, and then whatever problems in his life. And of course, he's in here now on a fentanyl conspiracy, but he's going to do a lot of time. Well, right after we're talking, and we walk over to where his bed area is, and he's talking about some of the stuff I wrote about, and about politics, and about how into politics I was. And there's a guy next to him who's in his 30s, and he's listening, and he starts asking me questions and talking, and he asked me, what about politics? And I said, well, this guy Nate knew that I was writing senators and politicians. And me and my friend Cedric Dean were reaching out to him because we wanted to go into Congress, or get the ears of members of Congress, to talk about different ideas that was going on in the Federal Bureau of Prisons. We wanted to either reach out to him, go in front of subcommittees, whatever the deal, whatever we were trying to do at the time. Matter of fact, Cedric got out and did do some things, and still is. Cedric Dean, shout out to you. Save Foundation. And anyway, so the guy's listening to me. And he was asking me who I reached out to, and I told him Claire McCaskill, when she was a senator. I've got personal letters from her, and I printed some of them. I've got cover letters from a lot of the different congressmen and senators. So he's, what would you say now? This guy's asking me questions, and I kind of ran off different things I'd want to say. If I got clean and can stay clean, those were my exact words. About an hour later, the guy comes back, and he says, if you're going to stay clean, And I said, I got this NA book. This is all I'm reading back and forth. And this guy actually started a Bible study in here. Now, I've not been one to partake in jailhouse religion stuff. One of the reasons is because, and I've did a video about it before, for some reason it seems like all those sex offenders and rats, or those are the people that gravitate to them in prison for reasons of protection, whatever you want to say. However, there's something different going on. I've watched this. I've watched him put this Bible study together. Haven't been yet. I'm not going to lie and say that. I just told him today that I'd probably listen tomorrow, because I did listen from a distance, and he's really doing something kind of magical here, and I'm going to say that. Anyway, came back to me and says, "You're going to stay clean?" He says, well, he's getting ready to get some time. He says, if you do, you've got an open end. I said, basically, I forgot the exact words. What? He's the son of a congressman, a U.S. congressman. And it floored me, because in the matter of OG Mike saying, Rob, if you do this, you can help people, to this kid name coming up to me, to this, that's not even it. Right behind this comes a guy that I did a story about, some of his people the other day, with a bunch of paperwork asking me for some legal advice or legal help, and shows me documents that are consistent with another guy I just left the pod with, that is a really, really big deal on a very, very large case involving a very large white gang. And it all clicked. And what I'm trying to say is, I was trying to get back to my roots of where I was when I was sober in 2007 to 2011. And what I mean by that is I started writing to be sober. And then through the writing and through being sober, many opportunities opened up, including meeting somebody in my life. And even though I squandered a lot of things, opportunities opened up, and I'm trying to get back to who I was then. Matter of fact, some of the last lives that I did, I was reading some of the stuff that I wrote, and I didn't even recognize me. Didn't even recognize my own writing. And then here comes this guy with this paperwork, who's a ranking position in a certain organization, and lays me these papers out, and it just I just couldn't believe it. Me and Seth Ferranti were in 2016 and 17, we're really hot on putting together a book about the Aryan Brotherhood. And we were just the whole thing, the end-all, be-all book about the Aryan Brotherhood, from start to what's going on. But it fell flat. There was nothing really that sparked interest. It was just kind of nothing new. And it just fell by the wayside. It just wasn't working out. And then this lands on me. And it's just like, what fell in place in a matter of a half an hour was just unreal. Now, I say that, and like I said, I would be journaling about this if I was in prison and I had my journal out, right? I put this out there because you never know where you're at, what's going to happen in your life. I feel almost like all roads in my life have led to here. The destruction I've caused to my mom and the other half of my heart, I cannot ever go back and replace. But what I go forward can make a difference, but I have to trust me first. I used to get ideas and I would believe in them, and it couldn't sway me from them. Now I find myself doubting myself, more scared that I'm going to lie to myself first and hurt others. But there's some point of what I've got to figure it out. What am I going to do? And it feels like the opportunities have been laid on my doorstep once again, stepping in a pile of shit, coming out smelling like roses. Or as Judge Brooks put it when he sentenced me, I don't know if there's going to be a silver lining in this, meaning his sentence. And if I can harness what's happened in the last 48 hours, there'd be a huge silver lining, because this can set me right back on the road that I wanted to be on. And I guess the overall message is, it doesn't matter what situation you're in. If you can find opportunity in it and you can harness it and use it for good, you should try. And I hope that I can follow my own advice on that, because I'm really good about giving advice, and I'm really good about fucking up. So, but I will say that it's really amazing. And I gotta go. It's a pro call. I gotta go. That's all. Take care. Bye.